Hello and welcome to True Guidance Tarot. I'm Adriana Teodoro-Dier. I am a spiritual medium and intuitive reader. I have a message for Virgo today. I have asked my guides and spirit for a message that will be deeply helpful and meaningful for you today as you navigate what's going on in your world. If you are new to the channel, I very strongly encourage you to subscribe so that you can stay in constant contact, consistent contact every week with high vibrational spiritual information from the other side to help you make sure that you're moving forward on your path, on your journey. I tried to say path and journey at the same time, didn't work out so well. If you're returning, I'm so grateful for your presence and invite you to comment or like if this reading resonates with you. And I am really looking forward to talking to you about this. If any of you are married to or in significant relationships, significant partnerships with Scorpios, it would be good for you to also watch their reading because there's a similar energy going on with the two of you this week. And I don't want I don't want an explosion to happen. So let's get to your reading right away. We've got the Four of Swords, which is the energy of resting and healing for the energy of your environment this week. So maybe a little slower, maybe a little bit of downtime, maybe just a little bit of calm that you're maybe not quite used to. And part of you is okay with that. We've got the Nine of Cups flowing with that energy, enjoying the calm, but there's also a little bit of tendency to seek outside of yourself for something. So hard to describe exactly what I'm feeling with the card, but it's almost like the energy is wanting to be extroverted. It's wanting to draw things from your environment to get energy. And it's not happy and content with just being calm and restful. It's wanting to pull things, to instigate things, to interact with things in your environment, maybe a little bit too much. They're also saying the word distracted because it's not comfortable to just be calm and be at peace with yourself. There's wanting, just going into things, showing me electronics, showing me anything that's agitating the sense of calm, anything that's agitating the sense of peace. So maybe a little bit too much time on social media, a little bit too much screen time. It's just you're enjoying it in the moment, but it's conflicting with that desire for that rest that your soul is asking for. So let's look at the rest of this. Now, I know what you desire is this Ten of Pentacles card. This represents the things that we work very hard to desire. No, that we desire very much and we work very hard to get. And when this card comes up, it shows that what we want doesn't flow to us easily. Just like my words aren't flowing easily to me right now. Anyway, it doesn't flow to us easily. We have to work for it. But then when we get it, it's such a big payoff. It's such a big reward. We feel so satisfied, so complete. So this is kind of in the distance for you because what's going on in the main action is right here. Knight of Wands kind of attacking or at odds with the Page of Cups. And like I said, there's that tendency to want to stir up things in your environment this week. I talked about electronics, but this is talking about picking fights with people, trying to get emotional rises out of people. And if you're not the one actually doing this, if you're not the one actually stirring the pot, you're watching someone else do this. But the presence of this going on in your environment is actually taking you away from that goal that you want. So if we're speaking energetically, if you allow lower vibrational things to come in your field, it pulls you farther away from your desire. So your desire is up here, for example, and we're down here on the earth. And when you desire something, the way to get it is to raise your vibration to the level of that thing that you desire. But engaging in these emotional battles, emotional conflicts is not going to help. So the Page of Cups is someone who tends to be very emotional, very sentimental, they heart on their sleeve kind of person, and not the kind of person that thinks things through or thinks very logically about the situation. It's all about their emotions. And so it's a little bit immature because they don't tend to see the bigger picture. And the Knight of Wands is someone who likes to He's not really someone who likes to stir up conflict, but he ends up stirring conflict because he can be very blunt or just very unaware. So in his course to accomplish his goal or his mission, his whatever he's off to do, he kind of runs over people. He says the wrong thing, or he ignores how they feel, or he forgets to examine the consequences of his actions. So he might impulsively do something and not realize that it's hurtful or offensive or not helpful to someone else. So here you have someone who's insensitive and someone who's oversensitive, and they're coming at each other. So this sounds like fun, doesn't it? So either you're engaged in this conflict, but for a lot of you, I feel like you're watching it. But the thing is that the more you're allowing this conflict to be in your energetic field, again, the farther away you get from your goal. So then what's the solution? You can't tell them to take it outside. I mean, you could, but by observing it, it actually puts you in, how do we explain this? It's almost scientific. When you look at an electron, all of a sudden you've changed it. When you're looking at this, when you're observing it, you're processing it in your head, you're thinking things about it, you're making judgments about it, and you may be unconsciously or consciously picking a side. And so you're involving yourself in the conflict even though you're not directly stoking the fire. So what they're asking you to do this week is tune it out. Go in a different room and raise your vibration. Do some meditation. Put on some music that is good for you. Dance. Do something. Or think about the things that you want. Don't focus on their conflict. When you focus on conflict in someone else, it's the same as focusing on conflict in yourself, because you begin to process it, you begin to internalize it. Even though it has nothing to do with you, you bring it into your vibration. And that needs to be the most important thing to you this week. That's our Four of Swords card. Really preserving that high vibration, because it's about you getting what you want. It's about you achieving your desires. It has nothing to do with this little fight that they're working out because they're bored. Okay? So, if you have questions about how to implement that, please let me know in the comments below. And I invite you to check out my website, True Guidance Tarot. It's full of some really interesting, diverse offerings that are perfect for seekers and spiritual people such as yourself. So I look forward to seeing you next week, and have a good one.